y'all, it's Chrissy here with another fantastic Sims build for you. This one is the interior of the Raspberry Sherbet house, and I'm just going to be doing the upper floor and part of the middle floor, and then in a following video I'm going to finish the interior as well as decorating the decks and the patio. As I mentioned before in the first video of the exterior build, I had nothing to go on as far as what the interior of this house looks like, so it's just left to my imagination and I kind of had fun with it, and I hope it lives up to what the real one looks like. Maybe it surpasses what the real one looks like, I don't know, but I'm excited about it and I hope you all like it, and I hope that you all download it and enjoy playing in it. I will leave my username in the description so that you can go to the gallery and download this house. I did put it up on Twitter, so you can go there to get the download as well. If you want to follow us, we also have the links for our other social media platforms included in the description below. And if you like our videos, or if you just like this house or whatever, you know, any sort of encouragement that you want to provide will be greatly appreciated. So if you want to just kind of hit that thumbs up sign down there for me, that would be awesome. And if you want to know about other builds that I'm going to be doing in the future, then you might want to subscribe so you can get notified for that, or follow me on Twitter. I also let people know on Twitter when I'm going to be posting. And I do plan on doing the other two houses that are included in this this series. The next one that I want to do is the green one. So it seems to be rather similar to this house by looking at the pictures. There's some details that are different, and of course the color is different. So that might be a little bit of a challenge for me as far as the interior goes. I might want to change it up a little bit. I'm looking forward to that challenge and seeing how that turns out. So you might want to, you know, definitely stick around to check that build out and that speed build, that video that I'm going to be posting. And you might even want to download it. You might want to download all three and kind of have them in one of your worlds, you know, like all together, so that their colors can play off of one another and whatnot. I'm looking forward to having all three in my world so that I can see what they look like together. I'm a little bit impatient for that, honestly, but all in good time, because these builds do take quite a while. And this room, I intended for it to be like a yoga room, because I like the idea of the Sims that live in this house to be in tune with nature, maybe, and healthy, but I didn't want to put like a treadmill or a workout bench or anything like that in this house. I didn't really feel like it would fit, especially with like the windows and the view and whatnot. I just pictured a yoga room, and those are rugs, but we can use our imagination and pretend that they're yoga mats. I'm not sure. I think maybe one of the game packs, maybe the fitness game pack, maybe you can do yoga or have, I don't know. I don't have that on the PC. We have it on the console, but I've never really utilized that game pack. So I don't know. I don't know how you do yoga in this sense, but I know you do yoga. Or maybe it's the maybe it's with the spa game pack. Was it spa day or something? I know they can do yoga. If you all know, just like let me know in the comments, because that'd be kind of cool. I would like to have that that gameplay, because I remember in The Sims 3 when they could do yoga and it was really cool. Or was that The Sims 2? Probably both. But that would be really nice. But if you have that ability in your game, then you could make it a legit yoga room. So that would be kind of cool. But that was my vision for that particular room. That's why it looks that way. So those are yoga mats, not rugs. And I know that closets aren't really a common thing in most builds that I've watched, but I think they add an element of realism to the houses. And I don't like to use the Sims closets because they are so huge and bulky. And I already feel like sometimes our builds have to be maybe bigger than they really need to be, just to kind of be able to, access stuff. And like, you have to have so much room around a bed or so much room around a chair, or your Sims won't be able to, use them or do this or do that. So sometimes we're kind of, backed into a corner as far as space goes. So I don't like to use the big closets. I like to just kind of make my own closets because they don't really use them anyways. They have dressers, or we can just click on them and tell them to change clothes, But like I said, visually it adds realism to a build. So I've been doing closets a lot. And speaking of size, with the new expansion pack coming out, Eco Living, and the previous Tiny Living pack that we got, I'm just curious, do you all prefer larger houses or smaller houses? Because I feel like at one time it was like the bigger the better, and it was all about building these huge mansions that were just mind-blowing. And now I see a lot of builds that are leaning toward the smaller side, and that's nice. That's not bad. I did a tiny modern house myself and I enjoyed it. But like I mentioned before, as like with gameplay, you're kind of limited in what you can do as far as space goes and how Sims interact with objects. So I was just curious, where do you fall on that? Do you like the larger houses or do you like the smaller houses? I tend to like the larger houses for ease of gameplay, but they take a long time to build and they're not really realistic. Like, not everybody can afford a huge house. Like this house, it's 3 stories with the top deck, so we'll call it 3.5, and I think it's like 200,000, maybe more in the gallery, and that's pretty expensive for a sim house. So, but like in real life, this house probably goes for like a couple million, maybe. I don't know. That'd be interesting. I might try to look that up because I'm sure it's been sold in the past, and that information might actually be there. See how much these houses are actually worth. But yeah, they're in Santa Monica and they're right on the beach and they're huge, so they probably go for a pretty penny. Like, I guess I can't be complaining about like $200,000+ on, or simoleons on The Sims. It's not that bad. But yeah, I was just curious. Just let me know in the comments if you want to, what you prefer. If you prefer the, tiny houses that we're kind of being led to build, or if you prefer the old style huge sim mansions. Because The Sims, to me, you're kind of living your dream, right? So why not go big or go home? I already live in a little bitty house and it's miserable. There's 5 people here, 3 kids, 2 adults. Whew, I'd give anything to live in this nice big house that I'm building here. That'd be lovely. I probably wouldn't want to clean it though, all that upkeep. But I don't know. Maybe if I was rich enough to live in a house like that, I'd be rich enough to afford a maid to come in and clean up after my messy family every now and then. And again, like I said, I will be building 2 more houses in this series, and there is still another video for this build coming soon. If you want to follow all of that, then be sure to subscribe so that you can get updates on it. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We're on all three to keep up with, what we're doing. And if you like this build, or if you like just what we're doing in general and you want to see more, hit that thumbs up for us and let us know. That's very encouraging and very much appreciated. I really was a huge fan of this purple office. I don't know, my last build, I did a pink bedroom, and that was different because I tend to stick with neutral tones in my builds, but I don't know, I was feeling that pink bedroom and I think it turned out really pretty, and that is in my Grace remodel. If you want to check that video out, that house turned out lovely. Again, another house I would definitely live in. But so when I did this one, I was like, okay, I did a pink bedroom in the Grace build, so let's keep this one pretty too. And I just did purple, and it is very visually pleasing. I like it. I think at one time I might have had purple accents in my bedroom, but it was mostly gray and white. Again, neutral, but I really did like the purple accents. There's just I don't know, there's something about purple. It's calming, but it's also kind of even though it's pale, it's still kind of vibrant. It's nice. I like it. And when I was doing this office, I kind of had in mind that maybe the sim that utilized this office was an architect. Maybe they had actually designed this house. And so I did lines, I did squares and that sort of shape, because it's the shape of the house. And maybe this is what that architect, specializes in. That's their kind of style. And I thought, okay, maybe they work at home and they're an architect and they did this house. And right here where I'm doing this, you can see the blueprints that are laying in the middle of the desk. I do go back later and I put a computer on that desk, and you can see that at the end of this video when I do the walkthrough of the house. But as I was doing the build itself, I kind of forgot that. I didn't realize it until I moved a sim in to test play it, and I was like, oops, I forgot something very important in that office. So I do fix that. So if you're watching it, you're like, well, there's no computer. There's always a computer in an office. There is. It's just not shown here. And the curtains, oh my gosh, I don't know if everybody else struggles with curtains the way that I struggle with curtains. I struggle with curtains and rugs. I am never satisfied. And even with the trick to resize curtains and just objects in general, but to resize things and move things around, I still struggle with those curtains. And I figured out that I could move the window and then place a curtain where I wanted it, and then put a window behind the curtain. Duh. It would take me forever to connect the dots and to figure that out. So maybe in my next build, I won't struggle as much with curtains. But I don't like our color options, and it feels like there's a vast majority of curtains and they all have the same horrible color options. Oh my gosh. My biggest complaint is that we can't create our own swatches. Hands down, my biggest complaint. And I love building and decorating in The Sims 4. I didn't when it first came out. I was like, what is this mess? Because I got really used to building in The Sims 3, and they're very different styles, and I didn't like it, but I do like it now. It's a little bit more user-friendly, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it is. It does seem like it can be kind of convoluted, but it's really not. It's really not. Once you get in there and you tackle it, it's not that bad, especially if you know some tricks to help you move stuff around and whatnot. But yeah, the lack of options when it comes to choosing your colors is super duper frustrating. Maybe when The Sims 5 comes out, I don't know, maybe they'll take that into account, because I know I'm not the only one that's bothered by that. So maybe they'll take that into account, and maybe that'll be something they change for us. Honestly, I would rather have more options as far as our swatches go than an open world. No kidding. And I know that's crazy, because everybody is just frothing at the mouth for open worlds. Which, I liked it. I loved it in The Sims 3. The Sims 3 was the best for that. I did really like that. I liked, driving her car, or riding her bicycle, or walking the baby, with the stroller, or riding a horse. I loved all that. That was a lot of fun. It really was. But it was really hard on my computer. Like, it wasn't always the smoothest gameplay. It was fun, but it wasn't always the smoothest. So I don't really miss the open world aspect. Like The Sims 2, you could have cars, and you could sit in your car, you could get a car alarm, you could do this, you could woo in the car, you could do lots of stuff in the car, and then you would get in it and you would drive away, and then it would go to a loading screen, and you would end up like in town and your car parked outside. That's fine. That's okay. I wouldn't mind that. And I almost think that they could probably do that rather easily. And maybe they will. There's open worlds just isn't like a number one priority for me as far as Sims gameplay goes. But I'm a builder and a decorator, so of course my priorities would be different than someone who might play the game a little bit more than I do. I do play the game. I do enjoy the game. But I can spend hours decorating and building, and then spend like 30 minutes actually playing the game. So I do have a preference. I do prefer to build and decorate. And these little saucer lights, it saved my life when I came to the realization that I can downsize those. I can make them smaller because they are huge. And I see a lot of other YouTubers that make them even smaller. And I was thinking I might get brave enough to do that. I might make them a little bit smaller. Because I also recently learned how to go into it's like a tab view, like when you're in live mode, when you have a person living in the house and you hit tab, it takes away all the like UI, and you can use WASZX, you can use those keys to kind of manipulate the camera and move it around. And I just recently discovered how to do that. And when you do that, you can even see like the ceilings. And like going through and looking at some of my houses using that tool and that view, I have noticed that my ceilings are a little bit bare because I don't have a lot of lights. Because again, I'm not a fan of all of the light fixtures that The Sims have to offer. I complain a lot, don't I? That's awful. But so yeah, I tend to not use a lot of ceiling lights, and I use lamps a lot. But like I said, I also live in a small house, so I myself don't have a lot of ceiling lights. But I do realize that in like the larger houses, those little, saucer lights are big. Like they'll use them everywhere, all over the ceiling. So I was just kind of thinking, you know, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to embrace that and downsize those saucer lights and use them a little bit more. So that is duly noted for future builds. I will still use my lamps though. And speaking of lamps, watching this build, I wish I had put a lamp there on that little table, because I got to thinking, you know, that little table is right there where the kids' bedrooms are, so it would make sense that there would be a lamp there as maybe a nightlight. But I didn't do that, but that's okay. Not a big deal. And again, here I am, struggling with curtains. This is my lot in life, to struggle with Sims curtains. And like, okay, so those curtains, I loved that color. I did not like the color of the curtain rod. So I struggled, but there it is. There's our lovely hot tub, and this is the office and the master bedroom and the ensuite and their yoga room. And downstairs I did the kids' room. There's that computer I told you would be there, but I did the kids' room, their kids' space, and in the next video I'll be doing their bedrooms, and I'll be doing the downstairs where there's a living area, kitchen, and laundry, and I'll also be doing the patios and the decks and stuff. So stick around for that. You know, like I said, hit subscribe so you can know when that's coming, or follow us on our social media platforms. My username is in the description. The links to our social media is in the description. And if you liked it, once again, hit that thumbs up. Let me know. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day, good night, and stay safe. Thank you for watching.